My name is Stephen Rios, and I'm a um, representative from Windsor, town of Windsor, north of San Francisco, and I'm a planning commissioner there. And my intent to come here to Washington, D.C. was to look at and to get ideas about sustainable farming, small farm enterprises that could be very specialized within or right outside of an urban area, which could transform to be smaller and more sustainable.
And tell us a little bit about where we are and what you want to talk about today.
I'm Chip Plank, and Susan and I run Wheatland Vegetable Farms. We're in a greenhouse at Wheatland Vegetable Farms in Loudoun County, Virginia, 50 miles northwest of Washington, D.C. And we've been full-time vegetable farmers since 1973. And even at that time, Loudoun County was thought to be a county in transition away from traditional agriculture and was struggling long before we got here for regulations that would preserve the rural character, is generally the term that people use. And so that has all that has only increased since 1973. This is, on a given day in the past several years, this would be one of the three fastest growing counties in the country. So this county represents urban pressure on good rural land. I mean, it's very representative. And this county has gone through numerous efforts to put zoning regulations or other kinds of regulations on land to keep it open. So I would say the direction is away from it being a rural county, just inevitably. But at the same time, there have sprung up a lot of different kinds of agricultural operations, which are typically not land extensive, but land intensive, and typically relate to the market in a different fashion. So you can see people commercially trying to adapt to what is now possible.
Well, we started out as a farm, and we started out growing herbs and vegetables, and then we went to farmers markets, and from farmers markets then we decided that we wanted to do dinners on the farm, and so from there it just grew into the business that we have now.
You're obviously engaged and very engaged in the local foods happenings here in this area. What do you sort of see as the future ways that it could grow around here?
I think farms are getting smaller at this point, and I think that what's happening though is that you're having people that are now growing more specialty crops, and so they're actually growing things that are available to restaurants or to the local consumer.
One of the things I wanted to talk about a little bit is the concept of food policy councils and food system coalitions, which are really great collaborations between agriculture, planning, public health, university systems, environmental groups, and it's bringing all of these players together and either coming together informally or formally under county or local government, and really doing an examination of the food system in a particular area and then coming up with really pragmatic solutions for getting food access where it needs to go in a community. So rather than working sort of as separate little pods with our own interests and often competing for funding in the exact same areas, coming together is this food system coalition or food policy council.
And do you feel like you are going home today with some new ideas and new energy to take back to your community?
Oh yeah, some of really what I've seen that really impressed me the most was confirming and validating some of the things we're doing in Sonoma County, and that is such as opening up wineries and other kinds of farming settings to the public. Not only providing those at wholesale farmers markets, but to the local consumer on site. So that's really nice to learn that that's happening. And probably the most powerful thing I heard about today still got me thinking, was the idea that food is not cheap. Good food is not cheap, and it can't be cheap because it's so valuable and it's so labor intensive.